Good morning. It's Thursday, March 26th. And today's lesson is going to be short on how good researchers pay attention. Write down their observations and dig deeper in order to find answers. As I went for my morning run today, that's usually the time that I have alone without distraction. Whether it's like my children or just having like my smartphone around. It's a time where I'm able to really just concentrate on my own personal thoughts. I need to teach you how to be mindful of your own original thoughts and how to then turn those original thoughts into notes. So good researchers, they need a quiet space or a place where they can be isolated from other people. Music helps me. Also being active when I am running, when I am driving my car. Think about the times and the places that you seem to come up with the best ideas. You need to go to that place every single day, and you need to find a way to help train your brain in order to be a better observer. The next thing is, once you make those observations, you need to write down those observations in a space that is a creative space. I'm a big believer of handwritten notes. Handwriting your notes helps your brain process and think deeper into subject matter. And there is a lot of research that shows that when you are using your hand in order to process information, a part of your brain is actually being activated that wouldn't otherwise be activated. And that when that part of the brain is working, you are able to not only process things more efficiently, but in more creative ways. It doesn't matter how you take those notes, as long as you are taking notes. You're going to need to set up a workstation, a notebook, markers and pens. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to make you today take notes on your free writes that you've done this past week. You have to be creative. You know, you're looking for answers to problems in our everyday life. You are going to review your notes from this week. Free write number 1 is just a general free write about what you are passionate about. Free write number 2 was a free write about a moment of injustice in your life. Or you could have written about Katniss Everdeen when she was using her freedom of speech to talk about something that was not right, something that was not fair, and she was taking a stand. And then free write number 3 was about grief and how we process emotion. And I had you explain whether or not you agreed with that statement that we should acknowledge the emotions that we are having and we should process them in a healthy way. Your task today is to reflect and review your notes, organize them into a synthesis page. I took my observations and I synthesized them into words, but I also took the key word, or I took a key idea from each observation that I made and I turned it into a graphic. All right, so this is a truck, because I was observing that there are the garbage trucks that are usually stuck in traffic each day are they're no longer stuck in traffic anymore. And I made that observation when I was running this morning, and I'm wondering, are things being done more efficiently in the city because the rest of us are out of their way, right? You know, think about the people who are in public works and how slow things happen because there's just so many people getting in the way of those things happening. So I'm wondering, are things getting done faster now, like picking up trash? Another thing that I thought about today when I was running was about social distancing. And I was wondering if people were essentially going to become more rude, right? You know, and more judgy, right? Because you see a person, you're like, oh my gosh, there's a person who looks like they could be sick, or, just like, I'm afraid of people now. So I crossed the street like 3 times today because I saw somebody walking, and I'm like, oh, am I becoming more rude, more judgy? Or is this the new normal, right? Another thing that I observed when I was running was not necessarily something that I observed in my sight, I was reflecting on something my sister had said to me yesterday. She said that because she works in a hospital, and she works in the department where there's surgeries going on, these surgeries are not happening because most of them are elective surgeries, right?
A majority of our surgery is elective. It's not emergency surgery. So we have GI surgeries, which is EGDs, just a scope, a camera down the stomach. And it's for a lot of the teenagers. That's the most common age. Teenagers that are having stomach pain on a daily basis. And they go to the doctor's office and the doctor tries helping them and then is like, all right, well, let's just stick a camera down your stomach and see if there's anything there. So all those are being canceled. Those aren't emergency surgeries. Those aren't necessary surgeries. Those are elective.
But then I remembered what Josie had researched in her research project back when she was in 8th grade, and it was about abortions. And I was thinking, abortions are elective surgeries, right? So are those canceled? And I made an observation about, like, I wonder, are people who are who have unwanted pregnancies, are they even allowed to have those surgeries that are people stopping them? Another thing I thought about was there's no cars on the road. So is the carbon footprint going to be reduced now, or is it going to be increased because more people are using electricity at home? And the last thing that I observed was that spring is happening, regardless, life is moving on. People are like the birds are out. Like I saw a cardinal today. I saw lots of flowers blooming. I see little like green buds like growing from the ground, and it helped me to just remember that life is moving forward. Spring is about rebirth. So what you can do for your notes, I'm requiring you to reflect on your 3 previous free writes and take maybe the best or most important or whatever stands out and seems the most significant to you. I want you to pull those things out of your free writes, right? And then I want you to itemize them as I had in my synthesis page. And then I would like you to create an infographic to help you understand what each note is. So the reason why that infographic is there, so even though as I was just presenting these things and explaining each idea to you, I looked at the symbol, remembered the observation, and I didn't have to reread this. What makes infographics so important in our note-taking is that it helps you to consolidate knowledge. So I'm posting the assignment on Google Classroom with more detailed instructions, but essentially I want you to take a picture of your notes when you are done. I hope you still have your reader's notebook. I instructed those students that I saw last Monday to bring their reader's notebook home along with everything else in their lockers, right? I hope you guys really listen to my advice on that, because now you need them. You need a good set of pens and you need some colored pencils. I know some of you are like, I don't need to color things in order to take notes. Well, for me, you're going to have to. So you're going to have to find a way to get some art supplies, even if it's like 3 or 4 different crayons that you stole from your younger siblings. So let's get started on reflecting on your notes. And I look forward to seeing screen captures or pictures on your Google Classroom. And I also want you to post onto Flipgrid, and I'm going to put the question up there alongside with this lesson. And it sounds to me like you guys are way more mature than some of the adults that I know in my life. So I look forward to just seeing and hearing you guys on Flipgrid today and in your writing.